Okay, welcome back. We're ready to go with our panel on women's basketball, celebrating and honoring the 1993 team and all that is Iowa women's basketball. So welcome back, grab a chair, and we'll get started. We want to first of all tell you, back in the corner also by the race car, Dan Gable will be signing autographs, and he'll be by Ironside Apparel and signing his new book back there in the corner, Dan Gable. So if you want to visit with him, that's the place to go, back in that corner. We've got some great guests here, and we're going to start out by, when I say their names, stand up, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about them. Kathy Marks. She's a 4-year letter winner, 1991 through 1994. She's part of the nation's top recruiting class that year. The team was in 4 NCAA tournaments, 1 Final Four, and they won 2 Big Ten titles. The 1993 team led the nation in defense. Her 67% field goal percentage is Iowa's best. That's pretty darn good. She played pro ball in Europe and Australia. She coached a number of high school teams, and she played for the great coaching staff of Vivian Stringer. Kathy Marks. Linda Myers. She was an Iowa assistant coach for 9 years, 1989 through 1998. She helped recruit 2 #1 classes in the nation. She was part of 6 Big Ten title teams and 8 NCAA and 1 Final Four team. She was a marketing and training worker at Wendy's and Rockwell Collins, and for the past 15 years, she's worked in student services at the University of Iowa College of Nursing. Linda Myers. Kathy Reynolds. 4-time letter winner at Iowa from 2011 to 2015, captain of the 2015 team, which made the Sweet 16. She was an academic All-Big Ten selection 3 times, twice Big Ten Distinguished Scholar, currently the Director of Basketball Operations at the University of Iowa, and she holds 2 degrees from the University of Iowa. You obviously went to class a lot more than I did. Congratulations, Catherine Reynolds. Nicole Smith. After a highly successful high school career, she made a mistake and she picked Wisconsin over Iowa, but she later transferred to the University of Iowa. She saw the light. She's an account executive for PC Media. The 2015 team was ranked 11th nationally. The team made the Sweet 16 in 1996. Her team had a 26-8 record when you were there, and they were a Big Ten runner-up in 2015. I had the wrong year here before, but trying to make you a little older. You had a great career. Nicole Smith. Allie Disterhoff. She's Iowa's all-time leading scorer with 2,102 points. She appeared in 137 games, and all she started was 118 out of those 137. She set the record for career free throws made for Iowa, 522, and attempts, 709. A 3-time academic All-American, a 2-time COSIDA Academic All-American of the Year. Congratulations on that. Her mother was coached by Lisa Bluter and was a teammate of Jan Jensen. All Big Ten, 4 straight years, first team as a senior. And there are obviously too many other accolades to mention at this time. One of Iowa's great players, the all-time leading scorer, Allie Disterhoff. Lisa Bluter. She's beginning her 18th season as the University of Iowa's head coach and is the program's all-time winningest coach. 34 years as a collegiate head coach in the women's ranks. She's been to 12 NCAA and 4 WNIT tournaments in 17 years at the University of Iowa. She is the Dean of Big Ten Coaches at Iowa. She has a 343 and 202 record. Now get this, a career record, the next one's a big one, a career record 699 and 344, so we'll all need to be there for number 700. A 3-time Big Ten Coach of the Year, a winning record in 16 out of 17 years at Iowa. 20 players have won all Big Ten honors 49 times. 86 players have been named academic All Big Ten for the Hawkeyes. And she also coached at Drake and St. Ambrose. Without a doubt, headed for a Hall of Fame career, Lisa Bluter, I'm proud to say, Iowa's head women's basketball coach. Okay, we're going to start out. We're going to talk a little bit about the 1993 team, who was coached by another Hall of Fame. This one's going to be in the Hall of Fame, but a Hall of Fame coach, C. Vivian Stringer, one of the greats at the University of Iowa, and she had just an unbelievable run here, and we're proud of everything Vivian Stringer did. And like we did with the men's program earlier, you know, we'd like to start right here, Kathy, and you tell us what's your favorite. Well, first of all, tell us what are your greatest memories of that great team. You were part of a #1 recruiting class in the country. What are your what sticks out in your mind most about that team?
Hi, y'all. We had to overcome a lot of adversity for that year, and it started off with a bang in October when my dad died, and then Coach Stringer's husband died Thanksgiving of that year, and then that was the year that Chris Street passed away, and then we had a team physician who died, and a ball girl passed away. Coach Stringer left us for over a month to take care of her family, which understandably, and it was December before we even got to even see her or talk to her. And I remember we went #1 in the nation that year, and we were in the locker room, and we called her, and I remember Coach Freeman saying, "You're not going to be able to talk to her. She's not going to pick up the phone." And we got like 2 seconds to just say, "We love you, Coach." But she came back to us, and we were ready to go. And that game, we played Tennessee, and they came into Carver Hawkeye Arena ranked #1, and they're waving their #1 finger, and they're wearing their orange in our court. And I remember walking up, and this was before ESPN showed you the minute by minute, and the line out of Carver Hawkeye Arena to get in. And we would get to, you get to the court 2, 3, 4 hours before a game, get ready, get treatment, and the line was already out the door. And you just thought, wow, this is big. And then to take Tennessee down 20 points at home and go to the Final Four, that was the...
And that was Pat Summitt, wasn't it?
Yes, that was Coach Summitt, yep.
So an unbelievable achievement then, and then believe me, that was the top story in the state of Iowa when Iowa women's basketball beat that. And Linda, you tell us, you were so close.
Wow, how do you
to
top that?
the Stringer family and everything. How about you? What sticks out in your mind?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I can remember, I think that phone call was made at University of Maryland in a locker room because we had to go on the road right after Thanksgiving without Coach. And we were playing Maryland, who I think was nationally ranked at that point in time too, and all the odds were against us. And I think with the tragedies that we had, it brought us so close together that we were so insulated and protective of each other that we just looked out for each other. And we had a team that showed up that everybody knew their role and everybody performed their role. And yeah, everything fell into place. And I remember visiting with a reporter and they said, wasn't playing Pat Summitt daunting? And I'm like, well, no, because we were there too. You know, we were #1, so, and they were too. So it was really quite fun, to be honest with you. But looking at the players and how they just pulled together, I think was the whole key to the success on that. And everybody did it for Coach. We did it for Kathy losing her dad, and there was just a string of tragedies. And, you know, it's hard to believe it's 25 years that those special people that touched our lives, hats off to them. They're probably celebrating as we're here tonight also. But I think that we got picked up. My job was team travel, and we got picked up in Atlanta at the Final Four. I'm probably going to cry. Wow.
all right.
The bus picked us up, and up front where it usually says Pentecrest, it said, "Love always." The charter company that picked our team up remembered us that way that year. So it was quite cool. And so we lost in overtime.
We don't go there.
But, you know, we wish that
At what point?
a whistle should have been blown. But anyway, I can only imagine anything better than that would have been to win the doggone thing. But we got there, and there's not too many teams that can say that. So we're pretty cool, big girl. Yeah.
What is, and we'll get over here in just a second, what is Linda, your favorite memory of working under Vivian Stringer for so long?
Oh, wow. You know, Vivian and I played for the same college coach, so I could go way back and talk about when her hair was about 6 inches out in an afro. She played at Slippery Rock, and I played at Slippery Rock. And I think, you know, Vivian was such a teacher over time, and she always was preparing for what was coming next. So a humorous moment on the court, we were playing in the first ever Big Ten SEC Challenge, and we were playing Vanderbilt. It was the first time ever live women's basketball on national television, and we didn't start out so good. In fact, we started out pretty poor, and I can remember sitting beside her, and she just looks at me, "Ain't this a kicker? May as well get the freshman in. Got to get him some experience." And we ended up coming back eventually, but we were down by 20 before we realized we were playing the game, I think. So here come the freshmen. Arnita Yarborough was a freshman that year, and it might have been even the same year along there, I don't know. But she would do things like that, "Ain't this a kicker?" And then she would stand and she would cross her arms, and there you go. She'd look down there and she'd say, "Look at him down there. Busy but doing nothing." Yeah. Or, "Just typical, just typical." And she had all these expressions that, yeah.
Okay, Kat, how about you as a player? What's your favorite memory of Coach Stringer?
My mom has to remind me that I did not like Coach Stringer during my 4 years here, just because it was just so intense, But I'm gonna jump to me going and sitting and watching Coach now, and I'll sit behind the team, and she'll turn and give a look to her team, and I'll feel it, and I'll just go, "Oh crap." You immediately go back to, she's looking at you, you know exactly what she wants, don't make eye contact, you know, you want to go into the game with her, but and fight for her. But wonderful lady, we still get to see each other, and we just pick up right where we left off.
Yeah, I got to tell you one thing. I got to tell you about Coach Stringer and Kathy, because Kathy did come in quite shy in her first year, and then I'll shut up. But I remember Coach Stringer looked at her and said, "One day, girl, big girl, you're going to dominate. And if you work at it, you're going to dominate." And
She called me kitty cat.
yeah, by the end, she did. Yeah. But Kathy didn't know when she came in that she was going to do that, but she did by the end.
Kathy said that Coach Stringer used to call her kitty cat,
Yeah.
but pretty tall kitty cat. Yeah. Nicole, as we mentioned, you went to Wisconsin. Now, the one thing, she gets embarrassed sometime, but I've said it before, when you look at the word in the dictionary of a person who has class, you see Lisa Bluter next to it. What was your main thinking in coming back to the University of Iowa from Wisconsin? Obviously, we're happy you did.
Yeah, I never actually went to Wisconsin. I was just committed there my junior year, and there were some coaching changes, and then luckily, talking with the coaches again, I was able to thankfully come to the University of Iowa, and I just go back to believing that everything happens for a reason, and I was meant to be here, and I'm sitting next to two of my very best friends, coming back and seeing some of the girls that I haven't seen in a while, so just stuff like that is very special to me.
That's Allie, how about your situation? Did your mother, has the connection with it. So you probably, and the fact that you're from Iowa City, it probably didn't take a lot of tugging, did it, to get you to come to the University of Iowa?
Yeah, it didn't take a lot of tugging. I just had to wait a little bit for the coaches, which we joke about now. But yeah, I always wanted to be a Hawkeye. Grew up going to the games, the camps. My mom has known the coaching staff really well. Didn't play for Bluter, was a couple years removed from that, but played with Coach Jay, Coach Fitz. So coming to Iowa was a no-brainer. It's always where I wanted to be, and just incredibly thankful for all the opportunities that Coach Bluter and her staff gave me, for sure.
Now, you had an awful lot of accolades that went your way. Tell us now, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, give us a Lisa Bluter story that you remember more than anybody, than anything that stands out in your mind as a player.
I mean, I think Coach Bluter is just a really, really fun coach to play for in general. She's incredibly competitive, incredibly passionate. She's broken a few heels in her day just from stomping at us when we're out there playing, which is always fun. But we have a lot of stories about Coach Bluter. We all really enjoyed playing for her, and yeah, that's that.
Well, that's good to hear. Now, we've got one other person coming up on the stage right now, and I'm going to give her the attention she needs. It's Iowa's super assistant. Stay standing just for a second now, Jan. You've got to stand up a little bit while we introduce you. She's entering her 18th year as Iowa's chief assistant coach and 15th year as associate head coach at the University of Iowa. She is known as one of the most talented and relentless recruiters in the nation. She works with Iowa's post players, and that says a lot right there. She's right in the middle of Iowa's success over the last 2 decades. Hawkeye post players have gained all Big Ten honors 15 times under the direction of Jan Jensen. As a player at Drake, under Lisa Bluter, she had unbelievable success. She led the nation in scoring as a senior, 29.6 points a game. Now, Allie, were you that much? No. Okay, so you stand in a class by yourself. Iowa super assistant coach Jan Jensen. All right, right now Lisa, it's one thing about Iowa. We've got coaches that come here and they don't leave. And thank goodness they don't, But tell us you've got the Hayden Frys that were here 18, 19 years. You've got Kirk Ferentz that's been here that long. We've got athletic directors. We talked earlier, SIDs that stay here forever at the University of Iowa. And tell us why, exactly why you never ever thought of leaving once you got here.
Yeah, thanks, Phil. But before I answer that question, I just want to acknowledge a few people that are here. First of all, I want to acknowledge our women's basketball team. Right now, this is the 2017-18 basketball team sitting down here in gold shirts.
Stand up. Come on, stand up, girls.
Stand up, ladies. We're really excited about them. We're excited about this team this year. And I hope that you're going to come to Carver Hawkeye Arena and support these guys, because they're going to do some really fun things this year. Second person, I want to acknowledge one of our alums, Becca McCann. Stand up, Becca. Come on, Becca, stand up. Becca, I got to coach Becca for 4 years here at the University of Iowa. And, this is what I love. Honestly, I love the present teams. I always do. But I honestly love it when our alums come back. And when we get to reunite with them and tell stories and just share the good memories that we have. And Becca played here from 2000 to 2004. And now she lives in California. You might know a guy she married. But, I really don't care about Robert Gallery. I could care less about him. I'm really all excited about Becca McCann being here. So, Becca, love having you back. I can't remember the question right now, but I think it was something about longevity.
Before any of you think that she meant disrespect to Robert Gallery, she's married to Robert Gallery. That's why That's why she said that. But the question is,
Yes.
so many coaches come here and they stay forever. I mean,
You know, it's just-
and I know why people stay at Iowa, but tell the people.
This is just an unbelievable place. And you know, I grew up in Iowa. I'm an Iowa girl. I grew up, 30 minutes from here in Marion, Iowa. And for me to be the coach at the University of Iowa, it's a dream. And it still is a dream. I've been here 18 years, and I still get excited to come into my office every single day. I am thrilled to be able to be the women's basketball coach at the University of Iowa. And I'm surrounded by unbelievable people, whether it's coaches, whether it's players. I get to go to work every day with highly motivated, positive people, and it's so exciting. I can't imagine a different career. But honestly, Vivian Stringer started all this in motion. And when Coach Stringer came here in 1985, I believe, it was 83, 1983 that she came to Iowa. I used to work at her basketball camps when I recruited Kathy Marks, and so Coach Stringer and I have some tremendous memories together. And honestly, now that they're in the Big Ten and we face Rutgers every year, it's an honor to play against Coach Stringer. But I'll tell you a personal story about Coach Stringer and the type of woman that she is. This goes back a while, back to 1997. I was coaching at Drake. Coach Stringer was obviously, she wasn't here at the University of Iowa, she was at Rutgers at the time, but we had competed against each other for years and were friends. My husband was in a really bad traffic accident, and actually he was in a coma for a couple of days. Coach Stringer was the first coach that called me out of all the coaches in the United States. She was the first person that reached out to me because she knew what it was like after losing Bill. She knew what it was like, and she was there for me, and I will never forget that, and we will always be bonded because of that. And every day to this day, every time we see each other, she always, how's your husband? And she always asks me that. Thankfully, my husband recovered very well. I'm not saying he's completely normal. I don't know if he was completely normal before his accident, but Coach Stringer was wonderful, and I'm really, really glad to try to emulate the tradition that she started here at the University of Iowa.
Well, and it points out right there, she left, but once a Hawkeye, always a Hawkeye. And
Coach Stringer has said she wants to retire here in Iowa City, so we'll see.
She was a good person here at the University of Iowa. Now I've got to ask, Kathy, you're an administrator with the Hawkeyes now. You're a player with the Hawkeyes. What's the big difference working with Coach Bluter now as a player versus an administrator, as she's the director of basketball operations for women's basketball now?
Well, I just started about a month ago, so I don't know all the ins and outs yet, but so far it's just been a total joy. Same feeling every single morning. I woke up with a huge smile on my face this morning. I texted all of these guys, like, it's the first recruiting weekend and first football weekend. So biggest difference is maybe to just sort of hear some of the jokes that these guys don't get to experience yet, some of the banter that goes on, but that's extremely enjoyable, and I'm just honored to be back and be part of the staff here. Because
you were one of them, now you're one of them. So there has to be a big difference, and I don't know how you girls view her now. Is she one of you, or is she one of them?
Chase Coley there in the front row told me we weren't friends anymore about 15 minutes ago.
You're
so
kind of in the middle right there. So you've had, you're working obviously with the great coaching staff. Jan, what's your feeling on that? Because you've been so close to Lisa through the years, and you're kind of like what we call grab that mic right there, and just pull it off. There you go. You're kind of like the Bill Brazier was in football. He stuck with Hayden forever. I mean, they were friends, and you've been with Lisa, and you'll probably be with her forever. But tell us your feeling about sticking around here at Iowa, and you have children here at Iowa, and it's got to be great for you.
I think it all comes back to the people. The people of Iowa, the great fans, the people in our community that just support Iowa so well. And I think that's what makes it special. We have great recruits visiting this weekend, and it's so fun to showcase the people. And that goes to the type of young women that we get to recruit. And, I think going back to Vivian's era, there's just a quality of young lady that is attracted to Iowa, and I think that is because of the people. And we're so proud of the kids we have on our team, the past players that are sitting over here. And, you know, I'm really proud to work with Lisa. You know, we've had opportunities throughout the years to, you know, for me to go a separate way, but we just really love the synergy we have. And Jenny Fitz is also in the same situation. You know, there were times we could have taken different jobs, but when you really work with someone with such a high value set and such integrity, that really matches what I think Fitz and I have as well. And you get to work for, you know, the best school in the state. We're the Hawkeye State. So when we walk out and we recruit, there's just so much pride. And I think why you see that longevity on everyone's staff, whether it's Frazier with Hayden or all the guys that are with Kirk right now, is because there's such a pride, and it's about the people. And the people we get to work with every day, and the young women we work for every day. So I couldn't be more proud and grateful to be in the role that I've gotten to be in this whole career here. It's a blast.
And we're happy to have you. Linda, what's the big difference when you look back at it now, when you see what they're dealing with? They're in Carver Hawkeye Arena. You know, well, of course you were in Carver Hawkeye Arena, but the way basketball is, I'm not going to put you, I won't put you in the old armory.
I wasn't in Halsey Gym.
But the difference in basketball now and what you're seeing on the floor now than when you know, were back.
Oh gosh, the training, first of all, I don't know that I could survive the schedule that you all have to put in right now. You know, I said my passion is helping young people grow up. I get to do it right now with Top 10 nursing program, but I get my nights and I get my weekends, and sorry. So I feel it. But when you're in it, you love it. It is. So there's no doubt about that. But I think that the players have become stronger. I think the players have gone bigger, faster, stronger. Okay, we start there. The calendar and the intensity of which the players start to play is so much younger with higher expectations, and I think social media has probably driven you all crazy with time with recruiting, that you can't, you know, there is no downtime at all. Not that there was much when we were there. So I think that's the biggest. I think you still see the different types of play. Some, you know, the fast-paced full court press, defensive, more offensive, you know, that hasn't changed. You know, women are dunking, not regularly yet, but what about it, y'all think? Who's capable? Yeah, there we go, going above the rim. All right, so that might come even
No,
more.
that's a good answer.
But it's bigger, faster, stronger.
That's the
quicker,
way in everything, and you know,
yeah.
all sports right now. I'm watching that in the U.S. Open, tennis, football, everything's bigger, faster, stronger. The equipment, you name it. Of course, the basketball is still a basketball. But Nicole, you know, what are you doing now, and what are your plans for the future?
Well, I decided to stay in Iowa City. I work in marketing currently and sales. We'll be there for the foreseeable future, but it's nice that Allie and Catherine still live here. Our good friend Haley still lives here as well. And we're actually having a reunion of not only us three, but then Sam Logic, Beth Doolittle, Melissa Dixon, and Haley. We're all going to get together this weekend. So it's kind of nice just to all still have that bond and all get together. So I just kind of wanted to throw that out there for the fans, just to see that, like, what you do see on the court, it translates afterwards as well. So really excited for the weekend.
Well, the thing I want to ask Allie now is, I can't tell you how much I admire a person of your talents to do what you did in basketball, but I admire just as much what you did on the other side academically. I could barely make it one way, let alone try and, you know, something. But you're an inspiration to us all with your athletic ability, but more so with your academic ability. Now, where are you taking that in your career now? And when after you tell us that, how did you do it? How did you balance your time so effectively to make yourself so, you know, talented in both directions?
Thank you. Well, I'm back in Iowa City for one more semester. I'll finish up my second degree, my accounting degree, in December, and then after that, I'm moving out to New York to work at Barclays Investment Bank. So I spent the summer in New York this past summer, had a really great experience, got the full-time offer, and so pumped to go back there for work. In regards to balancing academics and athletics, I think the coaching staff is really great about that. You know, they want us to do really well out on the court, but they also care a lot about our success in the classroom. And I think when you have, you know, your leaders setting that example, it goes a long ways. I know our team collectively also takes our academics very seriously, so we'll go on the road, and if people have things to do, you know, there are definitely a couple people on the team who will carve out time to study, and so it's a joint effort. I think we're all really motivated individually, but it's easier to succeed when you have some really good people surrounding you and encouraging you, and that was definitely my experience at Iowa.
How much are you going to miss it?
Yeah, I am going to miss it. It's different being here and not being on the team. Obviously, I had a great 4 years, met some of my best friends, lifelong friends. I know I'll always stay in contact with the coaches. They're people that I hold really dear to my heart. But at a certain time, you have to move on, and I'm definitely excited for the next chapter of my life and starting that chapter. So we'll miss it, but looking forward to what's ahead for sure.
All these talented athletes and coaches are going to be right over here in the autograph session after we're done here in just a few minutes, and they're going to be signing autographs. So please step over and visit with them and get their autographs. Lisa, I think these people would like to hear your first impressions of your new 2017-18 team and what you expect and what you think we got to look forward to.
Well, we've only had 2 practices this fall so far, so we've spent 2 hours on the floor together, but I can tell you, I like what I see, all right? I'm excited about the women that we have on our team, and you think of what we have returning from last year. You know, I know we lost Allie, obviously, the leading scorer of all time of Iowa basketball, but we returned Megan Gustafson. Megan was the first team All Big Ten selection last year as a sophomore, and was the 5th best field goal percentage shooter in America as a sophomore. So coming into this year, she returns as the 3rd best. The 2 of them have graduated ahead of her, so she's the 3rd best shooter in America coming back. Not only that, she ranks in so many other statistical categories. She averaged 8 double-double. She averaged, I'm trying to remember there was like 5 categories that she's ranked in the top 30 nationally in, so pretty amazing. But as a whole, our team was the 8th best field goal percentage shooting team in America. We were the 13th best in assists in America. We were the 21st best team in America at points per game. When you think there are 350 schools in America, these are some pretty impressive numbers. And so and the things about this team, the things like field goal percentage shooting and assists, those are team statistics because you get along with your teammates. You give up a good shot for a great shot. That's what makes you a high field goal percentage shooting team. You are 13th best in America in assists because you believe in your teammates. You want to share the ball with your teammates. And that's the kind of basketball that we like. We want to be up-tempo. We want to score points, but we also want to be an unselfish team that everybody is involved in our offense. So very excited about that. Kathleen Doyle was on the all-freshman team last year. She was invited to the USA basketball tryouts. We're excited about her coming back. Obviously, Tanaya Davis was an all-freshman when she was a freshman, but last year tore ACL, unfortunately, in the Michigan game, but she'll be back this year. So we have a great group coming back this year. We're excited to welcome some freshmen on our team. Janaea Houston, one of our freshmen from Davenport North, coming onto our team. And Paula coming all the way from Spain to join us. So Paula, we're excited to have you on our team as well. But this is a great group of young ladies, and I think you're going to be excited to come out and watch them in Carver Hawkeye Arena in November. We have a tremendous schedule. We're opening up November 11th, I think, against Quinnipiac, and that's a 5 o'clock game tip. 10th, November 10th, we'll be opening up against Quinnipiac, and then the next day either playing Western Kentucky or Missouri. So we've got a very, very good schedule. In our Big Ten ACC Challenge, we'll be playing Florida State, a team that ended the season last year ranked number 8 in the country. So great stuff going on in Carver, and we're looking forward to having you there.
If you don't buy a ticket, there's something wrong. I'll tell you what, we're all ready to come see the Hawkeyes play this year. And I just want to know one thing from Jan. You've got, I'm sure, 3 or 4 post players here that are destined for all Big Ten honors again. Now, who should we look for in the post this year?
Our post, I tell you what, they're looking good. We got a little international flavor now. We like that. But the posties, you know, we pride ourselves. We take a beating down there. Coach Fitz always gives me static. She says it's so easy. We don't have to do all those closeouts. But we have a nice little rivalry, yeah. But we get along because we need the assists from the guards and we need the brawn from the post players. But I tell you, Megan, and she'd be the first to tell you, she's one of the best posts in the country, but she didn't get there by herself. Hannah and Chase are tremendous post players. And going against Megan every day, they've gotten better, and Megan's made them better. And we really are excited about our offensive. We have a couple different offenses we're working on, and our guard play is stellar. But all 4 of those post players, they're great players. But I tell you what, all those players sitting out there, they're even greater people, and we couldn't be more proud of them.
These 7 people up here are a good reason why the Iowa basketball program for the Iowa women is without question one of the most respected programs in the country. And to the coaches here, the coaches there, thank you for what you've given us, and thank you what you're going to give us in the way of talent. We look forward to the year. We thank you for all the great times we had on the 1993 team, 2 #1 recruiting classes back then. But Iowa women's basketball is not a fad that's fading away. It's going to be here for a long time, and we look forward to it. And like I said, they're going to be over here signing autographs for you. Thank you all, and we can't wait for the season to start here in just, 2 months? That's right, yeah. So we'll just slide over there and sign autographs, and thank you all for coming. And tomorrow it's Iowa football. Go Hawks!
Iowa.